They say that wellness is a daily practice of honoring your mind, body, and spirit. And today on the Evening Review, we are joined by Emily Erastus. She is a fitness enthusiast, and she is here to talk about holistic wellness. My name is Aina Raizakoyo, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show, Emily. And let's start our conversation by what you were doing recently. We saw you participating in the Face of Fly Namibia competition. Talk to us about how that was for you.
That was really, really cool for me to take part in, to be considered as one of the top 10. I mean, wow, I can imagine how many entries they got. So I really enjoyed creating content that was still fitness related and fitness focused and sharing that message, because I'll never get tired of talking about it.
Yeah, and what I loved is that you stayed true to yourself. You were still creating fitness content. What we know you for is what you were doing in that competition. And for me, that was, very, very beautiful to watch. Talk to us about what wellness really means beyond, just physical health.
Yeah. I think it's such an important conversation to continue to bring into the light when we talk about wellness and holistic wellness and the pursuit of taking care of yourself as a whole being and not just the physical entity that people see when they interact with you, but your mental health, your spiritual health, your emotional health, all of these aspects. I mean, if you really want to paint a bigger brush stroke, you would even talk about your financial wealth and your financial wellness and all of these aspects that really are important to you feeling like steady within yourself and feeling good about yourself and feeling confident to take on whatever life throws at you.
I love that you mentioned mental health, and I'm going to sort of shift our conversation to that. So how can someone prioritize their mental health in such a fast-paced world?
I think it's important to have some habits that you can sort of return to on a daily basis for yourself when it comes to your mental health, whether that's taking a moment to build an awareness for when you get a little anxious so that you know when it's happening and it's not just something that's happening and then you're kind of continuing to keep busy and then you miss it, and then before you know it, at the end of the day, you're just so overwhelmed and filled with anxiety and you don't really even know where it came from. So I think developing an awareness with how you're feeling moment to moment, which, I mean, is easier said than done, because life is like lifing. There are things happening, especially once you throw children and husbands and other responsibilities into the mix. It can be a bit much, but I think it's important that we prioritize ourselves irregardless of what's going on in our lives.
Talking about, creating routines and daily practices just for us not to be anxious, sort of to mitigate that anxiety that you were talking about. What daily practices can you then recommend to any of our viewers and myself in order for us to manage our stress levels?
I think the number one thing that has changed my personal, like the way I handle stress and anxiety day to day, is taking a moment every morning to just check in with myself, to actually pause and be like, okay, I'm in my body. How do I feel? How did I sleep? Like, where's my mind at? And then I work everything else around that for me in the day, like the amount of stress I'm going to take on, the capacity that I have for other people. Then I sort of measure what I'm doing with my day from that baseline. But it's really just taking a moment to check in with yourself, honoring where you are, respecting that, not beating yourself up, not wanting it to be different, accepting it for what it is. That's who you are, especially as a woman, and the different cycles and phases that we go through on a monthly basis. I think it's important that we check in with ourselves and we make that a habit and we honor where our energy is in a particular phase.
I love the fact that you mentioned, checking in with ourselves. I think it's so important, and oftentimes you will see that because life is so busy, we are on the go, and we honestly just forget to have a moment by ourselves, sit and have a meeting with yourself, just relax or just not do anything. I want us to talk about mindfulness and meditation and how those two affect the brain.
Well, there's a lot of countless research now, thank God, about meditation and mindfulness, and what that practice does for your brain when it's done consistently over time.
Yeah.
It's not something like, it's much like exercise. It's something you have to show up for every day and put a little bit of practice into, sort of like a muscle that you're training. And then over time, you build a capacity to be able to just have a certain level of peace and calm and quiet in your mind, regardless of what's going on outside. And I think that's such a powerful stress and anxiety tool that can really, really help us all just better manage what life is going to continue throwing at us, which is going to be stress and anxiety. We can't really escape that, but we can learn how to manage it.
Okay, I want you to debunk the biggest mental health myth there is that you know right now. What is that one thing that is absolutely not true, but everyone out there thinks it's true about mental health?
Geez, you're putting me on the spot here. A mental health myth.
Yeah. Or maybe we can get back to it.
Yes, let's let that one marinate, because there's something at the tip of my escaping me.
Okay, let's talk about things that I love to talk about, lifestyle and nutrition. You know, food is my love language.
Same.
How important is sleep in overall wellness? And can you ever get enough sleep? How much sleep is enough? Because I clock 8 hours, 9 hours, and I'm still tired when I wake up. What's happening with me?
So that comes down to like the quality of sleep that you're getting too. So are you able to go into that deep phase of sleep, or are you just kind of bubbling at the surface? How are you breathing when you sleep? Because that also signals to your body that, okay, we can relax, we can go into that rest and digest phase where your body's actually in recovery and in repair. So it's quite a few different factors when it comes to your sleep, but sleep is the most important thing. And if you ever feel like you've fallen off your health and wellness and you're like, oh my goodness, everything's a mess, I always recommend that you start with your sleep. Make sure that you get your sleep in track, because if your sleep is on track, you're going to be able to have good appetite control. You're going to be able to stick to your meal plan, because you're going to be craving sweets and sugar. You're going to have your energy intact. Sleep is just the key. It's that foundation. You need to be getting your sleep.
You need a lot of rest. I know that there are people who operate on like 2 hours of sleep, 3 hours of sleep, because life is busy. Some people are juggling school, you know, work, relationships. So it's just very, very busy. You know, I live my life on tips. I'm very big on tips. Every time I see someone, I'm going to ask for a life hack, which is what I'm going to do now. What is that one small habit people can adopt today that will benefit them in the long run of their lives?
I'll definitely go back to the sleep. Go get your sleep in order. Get your 6 to 8 hours every night without fail, and just notice how you feel, how you wake up, your mental clarity, your energy that you have for the day, your ability to handle and process your emotions is also better, because you're not just going to be like ready to go off on everyone. You know, it's the thing. Okay.
Talking about lifestyle, how can I balance indulgence and discipline? You know, because some things are so delicious, but you can't have them. So where do I draw the line? Like chocolates, how many of those can I have just to ensure that I am still healthy at the end of the day?
This is where I tell my clients, like, you're not the one training for a bodybuilding competition. You don't have to not eat the chocolate.
Okay.
Eat the chocolate. Everything is about moderation.
I don't have to be pescatarian.
Yes. You don't have to be extreme to get results at all when it comes to your health. Like, little things go a long way. So definitely eat the chocolate just in moderation, and make sure that the eating of the chocolate is not because you're trying to run away from an emotion, you're trying to avoid something. Like, you just want to enjoy the chocolate, enjoy the chocolate.
Yeah. Does food affect our moods?
Definitely. The foods we eat, and having a cleaner diet and having a cleaner approach to your meals and eating whole foods will also definitely better capacitate you to handle your emotions and your mental health.
Emily, I can ask you about food the whole day and we will talk and laugh about food and we will celebrate together.
Please.
But for now, we have
me.
to go for a commercial break. We will be right back. Don't go away. We are still here with Emily Erastus. She is a fitness enthusiast. You might know her as a fitness influencer. Is it fitness influencer or fitness fluencer? What is it called?
I think you just created something.
Okay, let's talk about, emotional and spiritual wellness. I think that is so important and oftentimes it's overlooked. I want to ask you then, how can we reconnect in this digital age? Because we are always on our phones. I remember 2 months ago I went to a Henneken event and you were not allowed to be on your phone. It was like a reconnecting experience, and I appreciated that a lot because it's something that is missing, especially among us as young people. So what would you say we can do to reconnect with ourselves?
With ourselves and with the people around us. I think we're starting to miss out on community a lot when it comes to this age of the digital. We feel so connected to each other just because we see each other on social media, but we're actually not really in touch.
Somebody said to me the other day, they said, how are you? And then I said to them, no, I'm not doing so well. And they're like, no, but show me, you are posting on social media. So I assumed you are well because you are posting. So that's a point that you made.
Then I think it's so important to, yes, check in with yourself, but also really, truly check in with the people in your life and not assume that because they are posting on social media that they're okay. And if you're using social media as a way to like check in on people, then that's not really the best way. We need to go back to like sending each other letters or something in pigeons, because it's really important to have that connection, I think, with self and with the people around us that we call on when things are not going so well.
Let's talk about spiritual awakening. I think there is a lot of, everyone is spiritually woke currently. So how does then gratitude, what is the role rather of gratitude in wellness?
I think that's when it comes to spiritual wellness, I heavily go to gratitude. So I love that you brought that in, because for me, that's the root of it, the center of it. And it's just about developing a practice and a habit. And I feel like you can plant thoughts over time, just like you have thoughts that are sort of not so nice that visit you often. You can also plant and rehearse thoughts that are positive, and I've been actively rehearsing gratitude for myself so that it's like a default. And I think that's so important, because life can feel like nothing is ever enough. It can always feel like you can do more, you can have more, you can be more, you can travel more, you can love more, like more. But I think it's so important to come back to the present moment, and gratitude always does that for me. When I'm feeling like, like I'm lacking, that's where I go to.
Do you also have a list where you write down like 3 things that you're grateful for, 10 things that are...
I definitely go through it mentally. I don't actively write a list, but I think about it, and I like to then feel into what that thought makes me feel like, so that it's almost like, a bit more in my body.
You lock it in.
Yes.
I love that. How do you personally reset when you feel out of alignment?
Exercise.
Yes, the queen of exercise.
Do not fear the exercise, any form. I'll stretch, because sometimes when I'm overwhelmed, like exercising, like going hard and lifting heavy weights is not really the best thing I can do for myself. So I will opt for a yoga session or a stretch, something at home that's a bit more mild, but it's just about moving my body and creating that space between my thoughts and my emotions and what I'm going through, and then clarity finds me.
I love that. I used to run, But now I don't run anymore. I don't know why I don't run.
I want to see you running. I feel like it would look so glamorous.
I do. I used to, and then I just went out of it. I think my biggest problem is consistency, and that's something I'm actively working to improve on a daily basis. But enough of me. Let's talk about something that you are going to do. You're going for a bodybuilding competition. Tell us about that, then we'll take the conversation from there.
I'm going to tie a little bit to what you said about consistency being an issue for you. I think we tend to feel like consistency means we're showing up the same way every day. And I know you've seen this, I know you've heard this, and that consistency is just about doing the thing, like just do the thing every day. It doesn't matter what that looks like. And that's truly what bodybuilding has also shown me, that every day I just need to keep doing the thing. It doesn't matter whether or not I'm feeling like it. I've committed to something, I'm working towards a goal, and that requires me to keep that level of consistency and a level of discipline that I really was wanting to see, like, could I do this? Like, am I capable of being this uncomfortable and just being okay?
So this bodybuilding competition that you're attending, it's in your personal capacity. Tell us about, the dates, where, when, what, everything.
So it's actually taking place in Cape Town in Durbanville on the 13th of September, which is coming up. We're officially like 4 weeks away. I've been preparing for this competition since October last year. So it's been quite the journey, coming up on a year. Initially, we thought the competition was going to be earlier in the year, but we're really glad, my coach and I, that we got all this time, because there's a lot of preparation and hard work that's gone into laying a foundation for my physique and what we want to present on stage. So I'm really excited. It's a true testament of resilience for me.
4 weeks. You're 4 weeks away.
4 weeks away.
You've been preparing for a year, almost a year, technically a year, not far from a year. I want to find out, what have you been doing to prepare? Can you perhaps walk us through your current training routine, if any?
Yeah, so we were going through like a 6-week cycle. Every 6 weeks we sort of change things up, but one of the most important things that I learned on this journey is that sticking to a program is going to help you see the results that you want to see. It's not going to the gym every day and trying something new and trying this and trying that. It's like every Monday you're training legs, you're going to train legs, and you're going to do that same workout for 6 weeks, and your goal is to improve, lift heavier weights, be more intense, rest a little bit less. So it's just learning that I can push myself like that, and that I can go there, and that I can truly stick to something has been really cool. So my current routine is a mix of, like, we have to hit all the major muscle groups. So it's back, it's chest, it's shoulders, it's legs. It was really
intense.
It's really intense, because I'm in the gym 7 days a week. There is no rest apart from the rest that I program into my day myself. So yeah, it's quite an intense schedule, but I love it.
How do you then structure your rest and recovery days? Because I cannot begin to imagine the amount of pain your body must be in 7 days a week in the gym. What?
It definitely helps that I'm not training the same muscle groups all the time.
Okay.
So programming helps, and then also a lot of foam rolling and stretching, water. I'm on a supplement regimen that's also quite strict, that helps my body recover, supports my muscle growth and all that. So it's quite an intricate thing. There's a science to it for sure, but yeah, it's beautiful to see how the body can transform when you put in that hard work, when you eat well. It's like magic.
Wow. The body, shout out to the body. As the Gen Z would say. Okay, what is the biggest challenge that beginners face when it comes to bodybuilding?
I wouldn't, bodybuilding is not for everyone.
Yeah.
But those who are interested, it might be the training. I wouldn't even say that the food now has become the easiest thing for me, but the training and the showing up every day, day in, day out, and needing to give that consistent level of effort and push yourself and being uncomfortable, like it's consistent. That's nonstop. You're not really, you're running towards the discomfort all the time. So I think that might be a bit confronting for people who are like, where's the comfort?
You know, Emily, any competition
Yeah.
is extremely scary. Like, I don't even do competitions anymore.
No.
Because it's just cutthroat. So what are you doing to mentally prepare for a competition of this magnitude? Because you physically you look good, you've prepared for a year, but mentally up there, what are you doing?
That was a huge part of why I went on this journey, was to build my self-confidence, to build up my self-esteem, my self-belief, and to not feel the need to constantly compare myself to the next person when I enter a room. And it's kind of paradoxical because in this competition, that's all you're doing. You're just going on stage and you're being compared against other people. But for me, it's been a journey of reclaiming that, understanding who I am, learning my strength and leaning into that. So mentally, I feel like I've built myself through every single rep, every single session that I show up for, every time I go, even though I don't want to, every time I eat my meals and I stick to what I say I'm going to do. I think I've really, truly built myself up. So I'm ready to just embrace the experience and not really focus too much on what's going on outside of that.
I love that. I think that's the best advice anyone could ever take from this conversation. I know you didn't give it as an advice, but just what I took out is that block out the noise from other people and the noise also from your disruptive thoughts. I think it's very important to only listen to that one voice and that one positive voice. What do you then do to motivate yourself as the training days becomes difficult?
You know, and things are really getting hard. Yesterday I had one of my hardest days. I had super low energy and it was a leg day and I was like, how am I supposed to overcome this? So I was like, you know what, little by little. I just took off a little chunk of my workout bit by bit and I just kept moving. I think it's a matter of getting yourself there and then just starting to do the thing, one foot after the other.
Starting is very important. Finally, do you have a social life now that you are, you know, preparing for this competition? You are consumed, you are in the gym, you are eating well, you're preparing mentally. Do you have a social life?
This is such a valid question. No, and I actually have no desire for a social life right now. When my coach told me, like, you're gonna have to like say goodbye to things, and I was like, what is he talking about? I'll manage. But like, it's like, I can't go out because I can't eat what's on the menu. Like, I'm not drinking. Like, I'm just like,
I can't call you and say, Emily girl, let's have a matcha.
Yeah, those are like calories that need to be, you know, counted in. Like, things are just not on the whim. We're a bit too close for that. So I currently don't have a social life.
So what are you eating? Just for interest's sake, what are you eating?
It's a lot of mince, a lot of pineapple, cucumbers, green beans. That's like on rotation. And then we cycle in some days where I have carbs just to boost my system a little bit. So the carbs are normally white rice or some potato.
Girl, everything I hate. Emily, it has been such a pleasure having this conversation with you. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And, you know, break a leg.
Thank you so much.
Kill it. We are always rooting for you, and we cannot wait to celebrate with you when you come back.
I'm coming back with the gold trophy.
Yes! That is Emily Erastus. She will be participating, or partaking rather, in a bodybuilding competition later on this year. And this has been another edition of Evening Review with me, Aina Kweo. It's all my love, all my light. Good night.